Hi everyone, Renee here. Today we're making healthy, delicious vegetable soup. And I'm telling you, you guys are going to love this because I'm losing weight with it and I love it. It tastes wonderful. It has many great components to help you burn fat and lose weight. And it's real easy to do. Everything in front of you is what you're going to need. And remember, everything's down on my page in the description, step by step for you. This is all you're going to need for the whole recipe, which is right here, which I'll go through with you. And like I said, it's not hard to do it all. And it is a wonderful, wonderful vegetable soup. And every day that goes by through the week of you eating it, I eat it for dinner or lunch. Usually dinner. It's so filling. A late lunch or dinner in between, and it's filling and it's wonderful. But this is all you're going to need. So here we have an 8-ounce bag of just baby carrots chopped, just 8 ounces. Here we just have a 14.5-ounce can of French green beans in the can. Here we have an 8-ounce tub of mushrooms. You can use any ones you like. These are just a regular white mushroom, 8 ounces. Right here we just have 1 large white or yellow onion. This is a white onion. And here we have 6 large stalks of chopped celery. And we have 1 28-ounce can of whole tomatoes, or you can use stewed tomatoes. And we have a 20-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And then we're going to use anywhere from 16 ounces to 32 ounces, whatever you need. This is right here starting out 2 cups, 16 ounces. And like I said, anywhere from 16 to 32 ounces of chicken broth. And that's your main vegetables or whatever. You can add, put in what you like. This makes a wonderful soup with these spices. This is everything you need besides your spices. And then in our pan, we just have a nice thick pan. And in our pan, we have just 1 tablespoon of virgin olive oil, a teaspoon of hot sauce, and 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. That's it. And then for our spices here, we have, just for our spices, we have 1 teaspoon of chicken powder. If you don't have chicken powder, go ahead and use a chicken bouillon cube. We have 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt. You can do that according to what you want for your taste, but it's good in this recipe. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 bay leaf. And if you don't have one, that's optional. That's not a big deal. But it just, all these spices give it much flavor. So, and just 1/4 of sugar, and that's just to cut the acid from the tomatoes. Just a fourth a teaspoon of sugar. That's all that's in this. And this is all is just going to go into this pan, and we're going to get it heating up. And like I said, remember, everything's always in the description for you. So step by step, if you need to know anything, that's where it is. So we're going to just put all this in the pan, the spices, everything, get it in there and get it heating up. Okay, we just literally threw all of that stuff in the pan. We've got it thrown in there. Oh gosh, you guys missed it. I was crushing up the tomatoes I got, and you can get stewed, a can of stewed, or you can get a can of whole. I like the can of whole tomatoes, and I just get in there and crush them all up, and I'm squeezing them. I literally, one burst, all my glasses on me and my hair, everything. So, but I like the whole tomatoes because you can use either or is good, the stewed or the whole. I just think they have that extra little flavor in them just because they're together and they're whole tomatoes, and I just think they have just a little bit of extra flavoring. But we've got all this in here mixed. We've got our spices. We're just going to take them, and like I said, all these are in the description that we went over. We're just going to put them in there, all our delicious spices, and we're gonna mix them in. We've got this on a medium-high. We have all this wonderfulness on a medium-high heat. We're not gonna boil it, we're just gonna bring it up till it's just getting to a boil, steaming hot just before it boils. Then we're gonna turn it down to a simmer, a low simmer, cover it, and we're gonna stir it occasionally, and we're just basically gonna check it in an hour. But we're gonna let all these wonderful flavors marry and stew together. And but like I said, we are gonna, you know, take the lid off every, you know, 15 minutes or so, you know, and check it and stir it up, and then put the lid back on. But we're gonna let these all marry together. Like I said, as this goes to the next day, it's even better. It's even has more and more flavor as the day goes by, and then the next day. But we're gonna put the lid on this, and we're gonna bring this up to not a boil, but just a high heat. I'm on a medium high right now. We're not gonna let it boil. We're just gonna let this get really hot to where it's just starting to simmer, you know, just before, you know, a rolling boil. We're gonna turn it down, and then we're gonna cover it up and stir occasionally and let these all marry together for an hour. Okay, we have this on a medium-high heat. We were just letting it warm up. See how it's just starting to bubble on there? We're going to turn this down to a simmer, and we're going to end up covering up. Look at all them delicious green beans. And you always drain the can of green beans. You don't need that extra. You're using the chicken broth, so you drain your can of green beans. And like I said, everything's in the description for you for all of this. And you do need 32 ounces of the chicken broth. It makes it perfect. You know, it can be anywhere from 16, I said, to 32 ounces, but I always end up putting in the extra. So it's 32 ounces of chicken broth. Just makes it perfect. Some people don't, you know, they want it a little bit chunkier, you know, but I'm telling you, the 32 ounces, that'll be in the description. It's good anywhere from 16 ounces to 32, but the 32 just makes it perfect. I think it's just a great consistency for soup. So, you know, but like I said, some people, you know, like it a little, you know, they like it chunkier, but this makes it perfect. So we're gonna go ahead. Like I said, we just turn this, see how it's bubbling. We're gonna turn it to a simmer. And we are going to put the lid on it. And I love these lids because they have this little vent. They've got the little vent on there. So, and like I said, we're going to stir it every 8 to, you know, 10, 15 minutes, you know, whatever. Just stir it occasionally. And then we're going to let these all marry together for about an hour. And my tip for today is when I cut my fresh celery stalks, my celery, for my soup today, I always keep this. I wash them, and then I dry them good. And then what I'm going to do, I washed them, I dried them good. Then I'm going to wrap these like this, and I'm going to put them up so I have them and then they're just going to go into a plastic bag. And they will last a couple weeks in your refrigerator. They are wonderful. So you just keep it in the washer, the ends of your celery, your parsley flakes, and then dry them off good. Then put them in a dry paper towel, wrap them, put them in a plastic bag, put them in your fridge. And I mean, for putting in soups or anything else you need, or whatever you use it for, herbs, you know, you can let them dry out too. It's totally up to you, but it's a great tip. Okay, it's been a little over an hour. We stirred occasionally, and our vegetable soup is done. It's finished, and as you can see, it looks delicious. It has so many antioxidants and flavors in it. It is great for losing weight and burning any fat or anything. Like I said, it has massive antioxidants in it, from all the seasonings to the veggies. And it will not disappoint you. It has a wonderful flavor. It's absolutely delicious. You will love this recipe. So, give it a try. And you can always add a little bit more seasonings if you want. Maybe a little bit of hot sauce on top. Maybe a little extra salt, depending. It's all just your taste, what you like. I think it's delicious. It gets better as the days go by. The flavor just enhances. I love it. It's wonderful, and it's working for me. So, hope you enjoyed today's recipe. This is Renee. Happy cooking and baking.